everybody, welcome back to another E to the 3. Sensei Jerry Valido here with Valido Martial Arts. I have not made a video in a while, so I thought it was about time that I came back out here on the World Wide Web and kind of shared some thoughts. You know, when I was coming up in my training in Chinese Kempo, one of the really cool things was that our instructor, or my instructor at the time, Shidoshi Phil Wimberly, had us study theory. The theory was kind of a mix between, you know, tactical fighting theory and theory having to do with, you know, the history of the art and where it came from and who the founders were and what certain words meant. Okay, so for all of us that train in Kenpo, we know that the word Kenpo is translated into fist law, okay, or law of the fist, Kenpo. And you know, for years and years and years and years, that just kind of sat with me, and I was just like, okay, Kenpo is fist law. In recent years, however, especially since my transition over to American Kenpo, I've started, you know, really trying to ponder what exactly is the law of the fist. What is the law of the fist? Is it just, you know, they chose the word Kenpo because it was a cool sounding name, and you know, fist law, and you know, it sounded very brutal and terrifying. So I have come upon my own personal conclusions, and this is probably a conclusion that a lot of other martial artists have already figured out. Maybe I'm just behind the boat a little bit, and it took me a little more time to figure out. I've had instructors that have said, you know, a Kempoist is very comfortable fighting inside a phone booth. Now I've changed that saying. I say to my students, a Kempoist is very comfortable fighting in a bathroom stall. Everybody's familiar with that. Well, why is that? And I believe that the fist law, or the law of the fist, is that as a Kempoist, the law states that you should stay or endeavor to be in that hand range, in that fist range. And whether it's a punch or an elbow or a soft tissue weapon of some type or a kick, okay, we will make the opponent move. We have something in American Kenpo that is known as anatomical positioning, where our strikes are used to move the opponent into certain positions that set the opponent up for the next strike. And what we're going to do is I'm going to show a couple techniques here, demonstrating how even when we are in this hand range, we can still fight effectively, hands, elbows, knees, feet, whatever. But we live in fist range. We live in hand range. Okay, so let's take a look at these videos real quick. The first technique we have is called hooking wings. It's for a low two-hand front push. Now, whether or not you'll ever encounter this type of attack in the street is besides the point. We're mainly concerned with how the kick comes from basically hand range, but we're going to a low target, and we're still able to pull off a good kick to the groin and land with solid hand strikes to the face. This next technique is called evading the storm. It's for a step-through overhead club attack. And I think this is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier, where obviously we start in a range where the opponent can hit us with this club, but because of our footwork, we are able to simultaneously control the opponent's weapon arm and throw a solid kick into his midsection. So we are still effectively working from that fist range. In protecting fans, which is a combination left-right punch, we're essentially working two different ranges in that one hand range, or in that one fist range, where we are throwing that snapping ball kick to the groin with the eye thrust, and then as we cover out, we're doing that scoop kick to the groin and that reverse hand sword. You know, so there you go. you know, in American Kempo, we have our striking set, right? We practice finding the optimal targets for the strikes we happen to be using. We don't just arbitrarily hit certain targets. The targets that are spelled out in our techniques are there for a reason, you know, and more often than not, they are meant to happen in hand range or in fist range. So once again, food for thought. If this is not your opinion, that's cool. Like I said, this is just a belief that I have come to embrace. And from what I can see in my journey in American Kempo thus far, we have a comfortability staying right here, you know. And that goes to, you know, that's the same with a lot of other arts. Wing Chun, for example, they like to stay right here, but from what I've seen, Wing Chun doesn't have the variety of kicks that we do in Kempo, and our kicks are a little longer range, but once again, depending on the target, we can still fire off an effective kick, and it's going to hit that target and make that opponent move in the way we need them to move. So anyway, once again, just food for thought. Thank you for listening. Thank you for always tuning in and checking out my E to the 3 videos. We'll see you next time. Remember, enlightened mind, empowered spirit, enabled body. And we'll look for you on the next video.